Okay, just admit it. When you think about canned veggies, you probably view them as inferior to fresh or frozen produce. I know I do. But in very happy news, nutritionist Trish Brimhall says you shouldn't overlook these budget superstars, and she's here to share why. So Trish, I have to admit, I was a little surprised to see this on the docket for today, and yet thrilled. You're saying as a nutritionist, there is some nutritional value in these canned products.
Absolutely. And for a lot of people, they think, oh, I'm supposed to sort of look down my nose at canned food or canned produce, and it's kind of that sort of inferior yeah, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
We just don't want to think about that.
My whole life
but
to think
honestly, that's not the case. That's not the case. In fact, people that incorporate canned produce into their diet, along with fresh and frozen, end up eating a lot more servings of fruits and vegetables, and that is a huge bonus in as far as your diet goes.
So that's great because they're easier to access. You're more likely to eat them because you just have them there.
Saves time,
yeah.
Saves money. I mean, that's why we like them. They're always there. They're really quick. You don't have a lot of the time in preparing and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So give me some examples of some of the better canned vegetables.
Well, for example, things like corn and tomatoes. I've got corn and tomatoes because those actually, some of their really great nutrients and the antioxidants are higher amounts because they're heat processed in a can.
Really?
So canned versions are going to actually have higher levels of certain antioxidants than the fresh versions.
Okay, that's so interesting because I feel like you hear that a lot of times canning takes vitamins out of some of the vegetables. Is that true as well?
You do lose some of the vitamin C and some of those other nutrients in the canning process. But again, if you look at the whole picture, you're getting a lot more in, even if you're sacrificing a little bit in the canning process.
So what should we look for when we go to select some, so what are some of the better, what are some tips and pointers we can give people?
Okay, so for example, when we talk about fruits, the thing to watch for is make sure that it's canned in juice or water. You don't want it canned in syrup, heavy or light, because that's just adding extra sugar.
Which, you know, sometimes you don't notice that, so go to the store looking for that specific thing.
Yes, look specifically because they'll be like right next to each other and they'll look almost exactly the same and you'll be like, oh snap, you know. So make sure that you get the ones that are canned in juice, not in syrup.
Okay. And then what about
vegetables? The other thing to watch for on that one is going to be the sodium. Now, when I have a salt crave, I don't think, oh, I think I'm going to open a can of green beans.
That's right, you know? So don't waste it on the green beans. Save it for the chips and popcorn, right?
Exactly. So go with the ones that are no salt added or the reduced sodium. And if you can't find those versions in the canned vegetable that you want, at least go with ones that you can say, okay, I'm going to drain it and rinse it. Always drain and rinse.
And I loved that tip that you gave, that it actually reduces the sodium by rinsing it.
Quite a lot.
And by how much?
Almost 40%.
Oh, wow.
So that's
significant.
Lot.
That's worth getting out a colander.
Absolutely.
And having to wash it
Absolutely.
After.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. And then what about other canned foods that you like? Are there soups? Do you stay away from those?
Some of those are one of those things that you're going to say, okay, the soups, it's hard to find ones that are low in sodium. That's really where the sodium really starts to skyrocket. So if you're looking for a soup, the thing to choose is for as low sodium as you can get, hopefully 400 milligrams or less. And then you want to get as much fiber in there. That's going to be an indicator of we've got beans, we've got veggies, we've got all that kind of stuff. So higher fiber, lower sodium is when what you want to shoot for in like a soup.
Kind of a meal replacement in this. Okay. And then are there any concerns with canned foods? I mean, I know we talked for a little bit about the bottle craze and people were afraid of BPA. What about that with canned food?
A lot of people sort of shy away from it because of the BPA, and not all canned food producers are using BPA anymore. The ones that do have got it down to the low levels that are FDA approved, but a lot of producers are not. Western Family, the Conagra family of canned foods, so like Hunt's, Rotel, they do not have BPA in their cans.
Great to know. So give us a little inspiration before you go. I need some recipe ideas, and I feel some coming on when I see this delicious looking display because salsa is my official favorite food.
Honestly, this is an excellent way to say I can snack and be healthy at the same time from a can. And feel good about it.
I love this.
This is wonderful.
Good.
So I've got some hummus here. So you're just using your garbanzo beans and your seasonings, your tahini, all that kind of stuff. Stick it in your food processor. In 5 minutes, you've got delicious hummus.
How's the flavor?
Excellent. Oh, fabulous.
Really?
Absolutely.
Okay. Excellent.
Absolutely.
And then the salsa?
Yeah, a salsa. If you say, well, I don't have fresh tomatoes from my garden, that's okay. Open up a can and just dump it in, and you've got your cowboy caviar or your beefed up salsa or your main dish salsa, whatever you want to call it.
I love this.
In just a few minutes.
Throw in an avocado, call it a day.
Perfect.
Absolutely. Well, these are fabulous suggestions. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing these ideas with us.
You bet.